All right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about Dave Chappelle's latest Netflix special called The Closer. I know I'm a little late to the game on this one. It's been out for a few weeks now, but I just cannot wrap my brain around the fact that people are still talking about it. Now, look, I get it's Dave Chappelle, one of the greatest stand-up comedians of all time. Here's my take, and here's it's not even my take. Here's what I want to say about it. Here's my motherfucking statement. I don't understand how people who have hated Dave Chappelle's last 5 specials are commenting on this one. What does he have to do to illustrate to you that he's not the comedian for you? You know what I mean? Like, you clearly don't like him. And I see it. All the same people. I know a lot of these people. All the same people tweeting about how much they fucking hate Dave Chappelle's latest special are the same people who tweeted about hating the last 5 fucking specials. It's like, Jesus Christ, dude. You're going to keep going to the same restaurant if it gives you massive diarrhea? No. Stop going to that restaurant. Don't you understand? It makes you squirt fucking liquid shit out of your asshole. That's what Dave Chappelle's doing to you. You watch it, and then it makes you just go, oh, fucking, like, I don't understand. And look, and I'm not even saying, let me be clear, though. I'm not telling anyone not to be mad. If you actually watched it, because I still think there's a lot of people who did not watch it. But that's another fucking thing to talk about, because people just want to jump on that train, right? That's what everyone's talking about. I got to throw in my 2 cents too, because heaven forbid someone keeps an opinion to them fucking selves once in a while, right? But it's a thing that I think it's like a sickness in a weird way, and a lot of us are guilty of it, right? We can't just ignore a thing that used to be the message. I remember in like the late 90s, early 2000s. People got mad at some TV show for doing something. I don't even know. And you know what everyone responded? Or like sane people, they responded by saying, oh, you don't like it? Change the fucking channel. And that was back when we didn't have streaming services. Now it's even easier to ignore something that you don't like. Now, and I do want to backtrack a little bit here. If you watched it and you're offended by it, then you're allowed to be. Who am I to tell people they can't be offended by something? You know what I mean? Like, go, feel free. Like, I can understand where people were offended. I'm not saying don't be offended. You know, there was definitely some stuff there where I'm like, yeah, I can see people being offended. It's not my place to tell people who not to be mad about shit. And if you're listening to that, be like, no, fuck that, they shouldn't be offended. You'd be offended too. Everyone's got that shit that's close to them, you know, and their community is being affected. If you're part of the transgender community, I feel like you have 100% right to be like, yeah, he's putting out some shit out there that could make our lives more difficult. Therefore, we are going to speak back. I totally understand that. That makes sense to me. But in the same regard, by giving it more attention, I think you're just stirring the pot even more so. That's just something I've noticed about modern society. And at the end of the day, you have to understand, like, some of these people don't have as much power without you giving it to them. Stories nowadays, they're a story for, you know, not that long. Especially if you ignore it, it dies quick. But if people see one side being infuriated, they can't help but come out and be like, oh, well, I'll fucking show you. And then it just becomes this, and it makes it even worse, and it drags out even longer. It's just something I've noticed. It's been a little bit like, so I propose that all of us, people in general, because again, I keep backtracking a little bit. I'm not reading a script, everyone, is that there's always people who go, oh, these fucking snowflakes get so offended. I'm like, you get offended too. You get offended too. I'll find the thing that pisses you off and I'll say it, and you'll act just like the people you think you're not acting like. And if you think you think I'm wrong, comment the shit that you like, and then I'll tell you, I'll make fun of it. Oh, you're really into the Bible? I'll trash that shit right to your face. And then you'll be, how fucking dare you? I can't believe it. Like, it's, you know what I mean? It's, I don't know. So that's the thing. Everyone's got the thing. And it would be nice if people could take, I think the thing that kills me the most about modern society is how people read into it. People will go into something knowing that they don't like it, and they'll search to make it worse, you know? And I'm not like, to get rid of Chappelle special. This is so many things in general. If you don't like a person, or you have a determined notion about these people or something like that, or whoever it is, fill in whatever blank you desire. People will go into it not wanting or trying to make it worse. I've seen that. I remember this one time, this baseball player who I looked him up. I think it was Jeff Francoeur, played for Atlanta for a while, had some solid seasons. He had a post where he's just like, oh, I really, miss being able to see people's faces. And this guy has no history of saying anything controversial, I believe. Maybe it wasn't Frank Core, but I remember Googling, I'm like, does this guy have a history? Why did people react so poorly? Because again, all he tweeted was like, I really miss seeing people like at concerts and seeing people's smiling faces, having a good time. This was like in the middle of like 2020, and all these comments were like, oh, well, sorry that we're in a pandemic and people are dying, you piece of shit. And it's like, whoa. He didn't say everyone go out there and start having orgies in the park. You know what I mean? He didn't say don't wash your hands, don't mask up. Like, he didn't say any of that. He just said he missed concerts and seeing smiling faces, which shouldn't most people have missed that unless you were always like against it. Because I know some people have always hated big crowds. So then when the big crowds went away, they're like, this is kind of nice, which I kind of find hilarious, if that's who you are. So yeah, I just remember thinking to myself, damn, these people were so quick. They couldn't wait. And there are some people who just, that's what their thing is. They get outraged because that's where it's like, where's the outrage? Oh, the outrage party's over here. Is there room? I got a +2. Could 3 people fit into this outrage party? All right, cool. Now all 3 of us are there. That's not to say there isn't shit that's definitely worthy of being outraged over. But I think the main thing is when I wanted to react or give my take on the Dave Chappelle whole thing was because I think people are doing it all wrong. So I haven't even given you my opinion of what I thought of the closer. I don't know if I'm even going to. Is that a cop out? No, I feel like I think I'm exercising in people not always throwing their 2 cents into everything. But what I think I want everyone to take from this is if there's something that really angers you, try to say to yourself, how could I spin this in a positive way? I'm not even spin, but how could I take these negative feelings, this negative energy and make it into a positive? So if you believe Dave Chappelle's special was transphobic and all that stuff, instead of tweeting endlessly, which I know people who are doing this, tweeting endlessly about how much you hate Dave Chappelle and how Netflix this and blah, 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 and all these other things, why don't you stop doing that and instead promote transgender comedians? Why don't you make a bunch of posts linking to transgender comedians, YouTube, to their Instagram, to their Twitter, promote them. Say, hey, these are great comedians you should check out. I know of several that are amazing that you love them. RB Butcher, Jake Knoll. I know there's more than 2. I'm just blanking right now. Again, I didn't script this, but they're out there and they're funny. What else am I missing? But anyway, so like, yeah, I just wish I'd see more of that. I was talking about this with a good comedian friend of mine, Mike Bryanson, really funny dude. He's been Comedy Central, all sorts of stuff. He's got a podcast called Hunk, real funny. Check it out. Boys with Tom Segura. Anyway, he talks about it all the time. He goes, people should promote the stuff they love and focus less on the stuff they hate. And, shout out to Mike Bryanstein, because I really want to try to be that person more often. Instead of being like, this band sucks, talk more about the bands you like, just things like that. I'm not saying don't ever give I'm not saying if you're not hanging out with your friends and someone brings up a band you think, Imagine Dragons sucks ass or whatever band you don't like. I only know one of their songs, so I have no opinion on them, but I know people hate them now. I feel like all the people who use Nickelback as their de facto, this is a terrible band, Imagine Dragons is now taken over that spot. See, someone watching right now might be like, hey, fuck you, I love Imagine Dragons. See, we all get pissed off about stuff. It's okay to do that. Anyway, that's my point overall. Focus more on the stuff you love. Put that stuff out there. Help get those people over that you're fans of, that you think are maybe underrepresented or, just underrated in general. I think we all know actors, TV shows, musicians, bands, comedians, podcasters, YouTube personalities, anything. I could keep going, obviously, who are underrated, undervalued. And yeah, let's bump them up a little bit. All right. That's all I wanted to say. You guys are the best. Thanks for listening. Cheers.